Welcome back, Ranchers, to the Lucky Die. Previously, Laffian spots magically inclined creatures, Rhal is fascinated by Bellum's horses, Squash comforts a friend, and Zaltanna wakes up in a better mood. The ranch in Bellum offers the team a small respite from the ravenous creatures that are hunting them. However, on the ranch itself, they come face to face with horses, ostriches, wolves, and a squirrel that summoned their caretaker, a former Eye of Gruch named Hester. How did the barrier around the ranch come to be? How long ago did Hester die? And what is considered vermin in Bellum? I guess you're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die. You find yourselves in Hester's tiny little ranch house. It's just a small one-bedroom place. You have all been set the task of going to find out whatever it is that is eating the grain, the hay used for the horses on Hester's ranch. More accurately, he pointed at Squash to do it to get a rat to catch another rat. So if y'all want to help him, it's entirely your choice. Otherwise, there's beds for everyone except Squash. What do y'all want to do?
I think Squash just kind of looks at the team and says, like, I don't know what Bellum rats look like or are like, but maybe they're not a big deal. Maybe they're just scurry little fuckers. So why don't you guys take it easy? I'll try to figure out what the hell is going on, and I'll regroup with you if it's something that I need help with.
I'll catch up with you in a moment.
Now, is this going to be, I'll call if I need help as my head's in a demon bear mouth call, or
No.
before your head's in the demon bear mouth?
I don't have you guys unconscious, which I have to dealing with a bear. Like, I would have just walked away from the bear if you guys hadn't been there. But I had to deal with the bear. I'm not making it any better for myself. I know.
No,
but those are my excuses, and I'm sticking to them.
Okay. Those are your crossbows, and you're sticking to them.
I'm not getting into a fight. I'm not sticking my hands or heads or any limbs into any other creature's orifices.
Phrasing.
I'll be safe. I'll phrase things safely. Peachy. And yeah, I'm sure it's nothing.
Scream if you need help, but do it before you're in the bear's mouth or the rat's mouth.
They're not going to be Bellum bears.
Scream sooner than you usually scream.
There's not going to be Bellum bears eating the grain. I refuse to believe that there are Bellum bears eating the grain.
There's definitely probably Bellum bears.
Well, he said rats, so let's just hope that they're little tiny rats and not... Okay, well...
Demonic fire rats made of spikes and glass.
Well, now that you said it, I actually want to see that. That doesn't sound interesting. No.
Don't put ideas in the GM's head. All right, so Squash, you're leaving?
Yeah, I'm just going to do a little bit of tracking, a little bit of, like, scouring, and I also think Rhal's up to something.
Yeah, I was just basically going to dump you outside and then go to Rhal.
What's up,
Rhal, my buds?
Rhal sits down, and Rhal's gonna go into Tio's vision and ask for Tio's help.
Oh, Tio is kind of like nesting in like the rafters when you go into his vision. He's kind of just above you in the room, and you can look down and you can see like Lafayette, yourself, you see Zaltanna, you see Karuna just kind of like sorry, not Karuna, Electo, my bad. You can see Electo just kind of like curled up near kind of like the fireplace, and you can see Hester off to one side. You can see the door closing as Squash leaves. Yeah, you're in commune with Tio.
Okay. I'm gonna fly outside with Tio and get Tio to help me see if I can find Hagen, because it's not that I don't trust this man that we're with. He seems like he knows what's up. But I also just want as many trusted hands around as possible. And yeah, any help we can get is great, and I need to find Hagen.
Yeah, you get the feeling that, yeah, you can definitely transmit to Tio the person that you're after, at least the person that you knew. Visions of what Hagen looked like, the sort of person you know them to have been. You definitely get to the point where the edge of your vision with him has been hit, and he'll just keep on going. And you get the feeling as he sends back messages that he's sending you back a vision of you and Hagen and him all together. So you get the idea that he will come back with Hagen, or he'll guide you to him.
Okay, I think Tio has seen Hagen maybe with the mirror thing, if Tio was with me in the vision or in the house thing, but I'm not sure. I can't remember if Tio was there.
No, I don't think so. And also you just kept running away.
I did, yeah.
You just kept running away.
Yeah.
But you have the idea that he'll be able to find Hagen if Hagen is here, if Hagen is about, if he's not too demon. Yeah, like he'll go off and do that.
Okay. Yeah. After a little bit of that, kind of looking around, and after Tio gets out of the range where I can really monitor it, I will rejoin with Squash and make sure that everything's okay there.
Okay. Well, I'll have you like appear in like a moment or so after we start with Squash.
Yeah.
All right, Squash, you find yourself on the ranch. You can see the fence all around. You can see off in the distance, you can see some of the demons still trying to get to the farm, to the ranch area, but they seem to be repelled by the underground, whatever it is that is stopping them from entering this area. Yeah, you can see a fair few of the horses wandering around. You can actually see it's definitely beginning to get like a darker red in the sky, and you notice that some of these some of these horses, I really need to pronounce things correctly, that some of these horses have fiery hooves, and you can see some of them have like icy like saliva dripping from their mouths. What do you want to do?
Ask if that was a Freudian slip.
No.
Sorry, let's go on.
I was like, I need to describe what the horse is like, and the horse is
I think Squash is going to start by checking out the perimeter. He's gonna like walk around, and he's gonna look for something that he would recognize as vermin, tracks.
Yeah.
Is the word I'm
Okay,
looking for.
go ahead and make a survival check for me.
A normal survival check. I roll a 28 thanks to reliable talent.
The fuck is?
No, actually, I just rolled a 14 plus 14, so 28.
As you wander around, you see many hooves. You see many tracks that are. You see many tracks that make sense to the animals that are on this farm. Ostrich prints. You see like emu prints. You kind of see long claws. You see many different types of hooves. You also notice it's quite old now. You can see that some sand has shifted over it, but you can still just very faintly, just one or two, you can see what looks like really tiny hooves, and they're spread out quite far. When I say tiny hooves, I don't mean like rat-sized hooves. I'm like goat-sized hooves. You also notice that there is right next to them, or between the spacings of those, as if the creature is actually somewhat smaller. You also see right next to those, mingled in with them, prints for a creature that has 3 toes and 1 larger toe, like a person's footprint.
Oh, like yeah, it's not
like a humanoid.
backwards claw 3
No,
toes.
it's definitely a humanoid. It's definitely toe-like.
Okay.
But they're kind of quite faint. They may be old. At least that's what you're going to get to when Rhal joins you.
Yeah.
There may be fresher ones ahead, but right now that's all you find.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine Squash is just like, he's like on one knee, he's like touching the ground, trying to like divine which direction the footsteps point when Rhal joins him.
25 to sneak up on you and scare you.
Oh, okay.
What's your passive perception?
It's only... Let me check one thing before I say anything.
You don't have to answer. We know the answer. It's
Is
more
that
than
the
25.
only reason you're out here?
To scare Squash?
Do you have the observant feat?
Yes.
Then it would be
Yeah, that blind sight
29.
within 10 feet anyway.
29. Okay.
Because
why 29?
it's 10 plus your perception, and then because you have the observant feat, it's a plus 5 to the passive, so
Okay.
it would be...
Yes. All right. So 29. What did you roll?
25.
You also have blind sense, so you'll notice him within however many feet anyway.
Yeah, when he's within 10 feet. Blind says is super short.
It's as you're kind of like down on one knee, like Rhal, you notice Squash is even smaller than normal. You begin to do that like very quiet sneaking up, trying to be very, very sneaky. But Squash, you just hear like the shifting of sand and like a claw on like a slightly hard rock. It's a really good sneak. It's like, this would get most people, but you are most people.
I'm imagining Squash is like working on the thing, and then he realizes something's coming, and it's being super sneaky. So I think he kind of reacts really like, "Huh!" Like he just turns around, like hand going for his crossbow when he sees Rhal. It's just like,
Damn it.
hey, Rhal. Yeah.
Hey. What gave me away?
I'm assuming it's the weirdness of the gravel. I've noticed that when we step on it, it doesn't part like normal gravel. It kind of like compresses in a weird way.
As long as it wasn't sizzling, I guess I'm okay, huh? Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of under control. I haven't been very aware of it recently, but I may have gotten used to it.
I feel okay, I guess, right now. So, have you found anything?
Yeah, I think that there is somebody here who is coming with a creature stealing the grain, because you can kind of see here, and Squash is going to kind of like point out things in the ground. You can see that here, this is much more of a humanoid footprint than the creatures, and it's not like human or elf or dwarven, as long as everybody has 1 big toe and 4 small toes. I'm assuming, I've never checked, but I'm assuming that's a normal thing across all the races. But this one only has 3 toes and 1 big toe. So it's probably some kind of a humanoid creature, probably some creature that has like demonized itself here in Bellum to some extent.
I don't know.
How many toes do you have? Squash looks down.
I think I have just 3 big claw things, right? Like big dinosaur feet or whatever.
That is entirely up to you.
However it is in the OG picture from our Twitter.
Oh, yeah, shit, yeah.
I'll line up
Yeah, he
pictures.
has big
All right.
dragon feet. So he has 3 or 4 big kind of claws, and then that's kind of it. Definitely not regular feet prints.
No. Okay, so even though you don't have the requisite 5 toes, you still don't fit this description here. So you are off the hook for now, Rhal.
As you're looking down at the sand and you are trying to point out and you are trying to notice where they went, where they came from, you can tell that they came from a place in the opposite direction of Red Rock Town. You know, that's just not exactly 180 degrees away, but pretty close. You also notice as you're looking around, the tracks seem to have circled around. So you can see even older ones to your left, slightly younger ones to your right, sort of thing. And there's quite a few of them now that you're actually looking at it a little bit more intently and observing feet. Yeah, so you noticed that. You also noticed that it seems to be that to the area where the stables are, you see that these tracks, the very old, that these tracks are slightly newer. And you notice that they've gone very large strides, very big gate to get over to where the stable is and where you would assume the grain or hay or whatever it is. They're slightly newer, but you also notice there aren't any return tracks.
Oh, that's not good. They might actually be in the barn right now. The guys are not sleeping in the barn. Those guys are sleeping in the farmstead.
Yeah. So only you would assume only the horses and the other mounts would be in the stables.
I think Squash is gonna go find Balance, and Squash is gonna go find Laffian and Zaltanna, because whoever this is probably in the barn right now. And if they are, I'd rather not get ambushed, because if they're sneaky enough to get past the horses, they're probably pretty sneaky.
That or they're friends with the horses.
I hate how much sense that made, Rhal. I hate it.
Yeah, when you both return to the homestead, Hester is just lying on his back asleep. He has like his hand pretty close to his spear. He doesn't sleep too far with his hand from it. You find the other two. I'm assuming Zaltanna was attempting, I believe, to go to sleep at the end of the last ep, and then Laffian obviously sitting up and meditating on whatever it is that you two wish to be doing.
I promise not to do anything stupid. So I'm coming to get you guys because I believe the person might still be in the barn right now.
I'm asleep.
No, you're not. Wakey.
In which
Sorry,
case,
no,
that's so valid.
No, I'm joking.
In which case, my answer to this is, what guys in what barn?
Oh, no.
Great answer.
Yeah, right. I think it isn't rats. I think it's a person with an animal, and I think they may have a hiding spot somewhere in the barn. So,
why would someone be hiding in the barn?
For free grain and food.
Okay, I mean,
and safety, because, well, Hester has some kind of a, what did he say, underground room that pushes back all the demons, or like the more like wild things.
Right.
All right, let's let them live then. I mean, like, let them be what they gotta be.
Yeah, but they're stealing grain from Hester.
I mean, that's also fair, but like, all right, let me go talk to him. I promise I'm just gonna talk.
Hester or the guy stealing the grain?
You think if I talk to is it Hester with an H? I can never remember any fucking NPC names. I'm really good at this, you guys. I've been doing this for so long.
You've got this. The
other day, someone was like, "Man, you're a professional podcaster. That's so cool." And I was like, "Yep, I sure am." And I definitely act like a professional every time I record the podcast.
See, I think all professionals. I think there's a layer of like lies to the what people see. I don't think anyone is professional. I think they're all like us.
We act like professionals.
God, I hope so.
In the sense of our professional behavior, we are professional podcasters.
We're professional. We're professionals at goofing off, or at least I am. Anyway, it's Hester, right? So, do you think if I talk to Hester that they will be prone to violence towards this person if I tell them that there's a person in their barn?
I don't know how territorial he is.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't I go talk to the person in the barn, and then I'm going to go talk to Hester.
That sounds like a good order.
Yeah. We'll stay outside the barn, so if the person decides to attack, you have backup.
All right. Cool.
I also don't know where in the barn they are, so they may take some finding.
Okay. Well, I'm not a particularly good finder. I'm not a particularly good finder.
They have a small goat-like creature, I think. Something the size of a goat-ish.
Oh, I love goats.
Yeah, so you may be able to use that to claim that you already seen or know where they are. I don't know.
Okay.
Just info for you.
Or we set a trap, a grain trap. We know what they like.
Why don't we not? This person is clearly in a lot of need if they're hiding in somebody's barn, stealing their grain. Let's maybe be less that.
They've clearly been there for a while. The tracks are old.
I'm gonna walk in and I'm gonna go like gently walk over to the barn and I'm gonna like walk in with my hands kind of like up and be like, "Hey, buddy, I know you're in here. I just want to talk to you. I could leave my weapon outside if you need me to. I'm just here to talk."
The inside of the barn is filled with about 7 or 8 horses. You also see a couple of emu. A couple of the other stables are kind of empty, but you can see that there are obviously creatures coming in and out of these. Can you roll a persuasion check for me, please?
Oh boy, I don't know if I'm any good at that because I don't remember any of my stats ever.
Cal in the back, like my nickname is Persuasion. Let me talk to him.
Cal Persuasion Born.
Yeah, but I think this the reason I wanted to do this is just because it's like so like what Zaltanna used to do when she was part of the Tears of Regulars.
True.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, I do have
good
good
callback.
persuasion. I have a +9,
Nice.
and
Oh.
I got a 26.
Damn. You hear sort of like in one of these like empty stables, you can kind of like look up and see that there's another like balcony layer that goes above like all the different stable little holes. And you hear like scuffling from above one of the empty ones, and you just hear, "Leave your weapon."
All right, I'm gonna like walk to the door with my back to the door, and then I'm gonna like walk out real quick, and I'm gonna go, okay. And I'm gonna grab Cal, and I'm gonna go, "Listen, you're gonna be mad at me, and I understand that, but this person is clearly in really desperate need, and I want them to feel comfortable to talk to me. So, who do I think that Cal dislikes the least?" Rhal.
You've probably. I think he told Rhal that he didn't ever want to be held by him.
Oh,
That's not true.
He wanted someone stronger to
It
wield
just wasn't
him.
the present. It wasn't the long term.
well, none of my
goal.
friends are strong. I guess I'm gonna give him to Squash.
Eyþór spit take. You guys need to know that.
The reason I'm laughing is because in my head I'd already visualized you putting the sword down and it's bigger than Squash, and Squash just going like.
I just,
But yeah,
I'm
if
just
you
gonna,
lead it up
I'm
against
gonna
Squash,
like
Squash is gonna
gently,
grab
I'm gonna like go like hold out your hands.
it.
You gotta
Make them
be
as small
gentle.
as possible.
You gotta be gentle with him, or he might hurt. Listen, Cal, be good. I'll be out for you in like a minute, okay? And I'm just gonna like gently place him into Squash's hands, and I'm gonna walk back in. And I don't have my little boot knives, my boot axes, because I like threw them into
You
the
threw the
dimensional
axes,
portal.
yeah. Yeah, you threw them after Dachin, and they're somewhere in the garden area of the like manor house in Falsum.
Yeah.
They're somewhere in
Ooh,
the
I
garden
gotta buy
still.
some new ones. Anyway,
Oh,
and then
Demi said you can have all the shit ones that are currently on Bloodhorn Island.
and then I walk back in to the barn, and
Okay.
I'm like, all right, I put my sword outside. I don't have any other weapons on me. I just want to talk. I know what it's like to be really hungry and to not have a lot of options.
What do you want from us?
I just want to see if I can help you guys, and I want to talk to you because you're in the barn of somebody who might potentially not be the best person to be in the barn of, And I just want to talk to you guys and see, like, kind of what's your story and if I can maybe help you a little bit. I used to do this all the time. I was part of a group that went around and helped people that didn't have a lot.
You see, like up in the kind of balcony area, you see like this tiny, like, goblin-looking head just kind of appear over like the balcony edge, and his face is kind of elongated. All the features are overpronounced. You can see that he only actually has one eye in the very center. It's a cyclops. You would guess about the size of a goblin, maybe a little bit bigger. You can see that he has really long fingers and like what looks like clipped claws, so they've been obviously cut down. He's wearing something very threadbare on his chest, but you can't really see what exactly. And you see, just appearing next to him, you see like two fur-covered hands place themselves also on the balcony. And you see another very furry-looking creature, face of a goat with very large nostrils and very small eyes, with horns that go all the way back that look very razor-sharp even in the darkness. And the first says,
Mistress sent us here for supplies.
And the goat-faced creature says,
I came here for the well. Mistress wants us back, but I wanted to stay for the well. Will you help us leave?
Do I know what that means, the well?
You could take a history check.
I could do that, or you could just tell me.
I don't know. How good is Zaltanna's memory?
Roll intimidation against the
19?
DM.
Oh!
Damn!
Also,
Do
I
you
wouldn't be
remember-
me if I didn't, like, jokingly just ask you to give me things without me having to roll.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes y'all's natural persuasion persuades me. You remember that when you were in Cicero and you were in Rose's Cicero version, Rose being Taylor's mum, you remember her talking about a well that they could use to look in on their loved ones.
Where was that?
That was in Cicero.
Taylor's mom was looking in the whale to watch Taylor.
Oh, right. Oh, and we're not... God, I have, like, the worst goddamn memory in the world. It's been, like, 3 weeks. Or we're not in Cicero right now, are we?
No, you're in Bellum.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the only vague grasp of maybe what you think the well might be. If it's true in Cicero, maybe it's true here in Bellum. You don't know.
The well in Cicero?
There's a well here on the ranch, and it allows us to look in on our loved ones.
Yeah, I can talk to Hester about letting you guys use it.
Hester is the orc.
Yes.
You see the pair of them look at each other, and the kind of goblin-looking one says,
We steal grain for the mistress. He probably won't let us stay.
Well, I can talk to him about it. Does he know that you're stealing grain? Has he seen you guys?
We're sneaky. We're small and we hide.
So if you guys came in, he wouldn't know it was you stealing grain. Okay.
Hopefully not.
And who's your mistress?
The mistress back at the Vortex. She sends us out for supplies and rumors.
The mistress at the Vortex. Okay. Well, listen, I'm happy to help and see if I can get you guys access to the well. Who you guys want to go look in on?
My children.
How old?
54. 38.
It's a precocious age.
They have. The eldest has grandchildren of their own now.
Wow, you must be so proud.
I am lonely and scared. I wish I could tell them that everything will be okay.
Well, I could do that for you, maybe. I'm kind of visiting here, so.
You see both their eyes go wide, and they look at their goblin companion, who kind of gives them like a smile and a thumbs up. And you can see that they only really have like 3 fingers and 1 thumb.
That would be great.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that for you guys. I know what it's like to want to be able to tell somebody something and know you won't be able to.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are your names?
I'm Logan Swiftdale.
Logan Swiftdale. Since I'm going to be delivering a message for you, I should probably write that down somewhere so that I remember it.
It's the goat one.
The goblin?
Goat.
Goat! Oh, man. His name isn't Pete. This would be the one time it would be perfect to name one of them Pete.
Nobody's given us Pete.
I am Logan Swiftdale. My son is Crimson.
All right. Perfect.
Thank you. Really.
Do you also have something you want to tell someone?
The goblin shakes their head and he says,
No. I didn't leave many people behind, and they're all here in Bellamore and Cicero now.
Well, we all end up here eventually.
and you can see them, like, they look down and they look a little bit sad.
I don't remember their names anymore.
Hey, that's okay. Time takes from you, and it takes from everyone.
He nods.
Will you speak to Hester, the orc guy,
Yes.
please?
But maybe if I'm going to do that. But first, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need you guys to go somewhere not in the grain silo barn thing, because we don't want Hester to know, right? That you guys are the ones stealing the grain?
Right. We can wait outside.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
You can see them, like, looking at each other a little bit, and they just shrug and nod, and they look down at you, and they say,
I want to let you guys know, because I don't want it to be a surprise. I have friends. They're outside. They're not going to hurt you either. I promise. You have my protection from them. If any of them try to start any shit with you, I'll knock them out. Okay?
you see them kind of, like, look a little bit concerned, and then they kind of smile. And the kind of goblin with one eye kind of smiles at you, and he says,
We'll come down and we'll wait wherever you want us to wait.
Okay, cool. That sounds good.
But I have a question. We still need the grain for the mistress.
Well, is there anything you guys have that you could maybe exchange for some grain?
they look at each other and they kind of shake their heads.
No.
Maybe I have something I can exchange. Let me look at my sheet.
That would be great. That's kind of you. What's your angle?
I don't have an angle. You guys seem like you're in a bad spot. I don't want you to I don't think you can get killed when you're already dead, but whatever people can do to you here, you guys seem sweet, so I'd rather not that happen to you.
You see, like, both of them look at you, and like the goat guy like twists his head like really much to one side, and you see the goblin like lean over like so far over the balcony, you're afraid he may even fall over. And they kind of both gasp one after another. And the goblin says, "You're alive."
Yes. I said I was only visiting.
Yeah, but we only visit places back in the vortex. You're alive.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Zaltanna.
Oh.
I'm here to save the world.
Oh.
Okay, Harvey?
Oh. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh, okay then. We'll come down and we'll meet you. Yes, we'll meet you outside the barn. And they kind of both pull back, and you can hear them whispering me frantically to one another. They're like, "What the hell? Oh my god!" Like, or that. There's a lot of that going on. You hear them clattering about, you hear them coming down a ladder and jumping into something soft. And you see that when they appear in front of you, one of them is maybe 3 foot tall. The goblin guy is quite short, and you can see that the kind of goat person is maybe about 2'3", something like that, quite short. And yeah, they're both holding these really big sacks. One of them is clearly just completely filled with grain. The other one seems to be filled with a mixture of grain and hay. And you can hear like small little clinks and clacks as if there's other items also stored in there. And they're both kind of, they're not exactly struggling under the weight, but it is obviously like encumbering them.
You know what might be a good idea if we don't want Hester to know that you've been stealing their grain is that you don't have those bags of grain when we go to see them.
Where do you think we should hide them?
You know, I don't know. Why don't we ask my friend who's sneaky? He might have good ideas. I think I'm going to need him and my friend who's really good at talking to people to do anything.
Seems like a good idea. And yeah, they'll leave the barn with you. And yeah, the rest of you see a small goat-like creature with goat-like legs, but the hands are covered in fur. And you can also see there is a small goblin-like creature, a cyclops with kind of like long hands, but obviously they have claws that have been cut down. They're not letting them grow out as such. And you see them appear before you. Yeah, they're about 3 foot something and 2 foot something.
I'm assuming the crew has been able to listen on the entire conversation.
Yeah, I'm going to go with yeah. It's a bit of a strain on the hearing, but yeah.
Hey, guys.
I imagine that when Squash hears the conversations dying down, he's kind of like leaned Callan onto the barn, and it's just kind of like propping up against it just so it doesn't fall over.
Don't touch me.
I'm trying not to, but you need
Stop
to.
it.
You got dirt on me.
How dare. He's just like tormenting you, and you don't know if he's being serious, but Zaltanna would know he's joking.
Callan
but you
is
don't know
now Batman.
I feel like you need to make friends with at least one of Zaltanna's friends.
He doesn't like any of my friends. See, that's the issue.
Yeah, you see that they're holding they're kind of like big sacks on their shoulders. One's, yeah, obviously just food, and the other one is a mixture of food and items. They're looking at the three of you, and they're looking up and across at Squash.
Hey, guys. These are my new pals, Logan, and I actually didn't catch your name.
Thank you, patrons. Everybody except
Thank you,
Thirsty.
patrons. Fuck you, Thirsty.
I don't remember my name exactly, but my friends call me Chaval.
Shovel. Okay.
Travel.
Quick question, just because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Is the goblin-like creature a genuine Cyclops or a one-eyed goblin?
Oh, they're a genuine Cyclops.
Thank you.
Mike Wazowski.
No. I just needed that cleared up because the phrasing was like, it was a little bit.
I apologize for being unclear. But
No,
yes,
no.
Genuine Cyclops.
Okay. Okay. I was listening in and want to ask a couple of questions before we go any further. How much grain do you need? A full sack?
They look at each other and the goblin one says, "We need as much as we can carry. The resources in the Vortex are a little scarce."
Okay. Sorry. Rude of me. I'm Squash. Laffian and Rhal.
Hello.
What is this vortex you're speaking of?
The
When we are killed here, we come back through the Vortex. There are many of them, but one is close. We just call it the Vortex.
Do you know what happens to us if we die here?
I don't want to
They
find
both
out.
shake their head.
Let's not find out, Squash.
So why are you staying by the place where you come back?
It's where some people come back, and it's sometimes easier just to stay there and wait for other people. They don't always remember you, and you don't always recognize them. But it's a good meeting spot.
You say that Hester has a well that lets you spy on people.
You see the goat one nod.
How do you know
Yes.
this?
I've used it.
Is he protective of it? Is he hiding that he has it? Or does he sell people access to it?
he doesn't let anyone on his ranch. He doesn't like people. He doesn't like demons. He just likes his horses and the emus.
Well, we only carry things to eventually use or give them away. Squash goes into goes into Demi's bag of holding, and he brings out a strange green bottle, and he's gonna pass it off to Zaltanna. This is a meat bottle from the mirror world. I assume it is probably very unique, very strange, very different. It is probably a very powerful bargaining chip if it comes from anybody except myself.
It's not wrong on that.
Yeah, that's fair. Balance? Laffian? God, it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Was there a question after that?
Yeah. Will you help me with this? I am not the most amazing with words. I can be persuasive if I need to be.
Right.
But I'm not diplomatic.
I can come up with a bargain. However, the fact that I'm an elf probably is more of a disadvantage when dealing with people that are fans of Grumsh who also dislike elves.
Do all eyes suddenly look at Rhal?
Well, I mean, Rhal's going to have to be the one to translate, obviously, because... Well, actually, no, because he understands Common.
Yeah.
I will help you with the bargain, but the actual talking itself, the hey, could you do us a solid part, probably should come from you, since you and Grumsh have a good thing going. And since it seems to hold Grumsh's opinion in high regard.
Me and Grumsh are kind of buddies.
Yep.
Oh man, that's weird to say.
Are y'all from Kino? We know some people from Kino, but none quite like you.
They shake their heads, and Chaval says, I think I don't recognize Kino, but I don't remember much from my life. I was a dwarf before I became this.
So you've been turned by this place, yes?
They nod.
How are you able to get past his bubble?
We're not so far.
Oh, okay.
Not so far down the road.
Okay.
So just so I understand the request, so you two need the grains and would also like to get a glimpse of this well, yes?
Yes. I'd like to come check on my family often. But the mistress really needs the grain and any resources like that and any rumors and messages and info. She deals in secrets and...
Well, probably don't bring that up to Hester, since if he's being very protective of the well, he probably... I'm assuming somebody who peddles rumors would have a lot of use for the well, so it feels like there might be animosity between them. Sorry, I'm having a real hard time with my words.
That's fine. You see Logan just kind of like dip his head in. Like there's a tinge of shame in there. Like he doesn't like doing what he's doing, but you'll pick that up really easily. There's no insight needed at all.
How many wells are there?
There are a few, all over Bellum.
Are these things that can be made?
I don't know. I don't know either. That would be something for... I don't know. Maybe someone back at the Vortex would know, or one of the little towns somewhere.
Or someone who has his own.
If you're looking for the ability to have free access to this well and be able to see more than just on the one occasion, that's going to be a bit harder to bargain for. How often is it that you need to be checking in with this mistress of yours and returning to the Vortex?
We go and we try to be back to the mistress once every 5 or 6 days.
And how far is it from here?
About 2 or 3 days. If we had one of these horses, it would be a lot less.
I would not ask for that.
They seem to kick up a lot of a fuss when we go near them.
Is there anything that the Vortex community sounds like can maybe offer him in terms of help? Anything you can think of that he might want?
The last time the mistress spoke with him, he refused anyone to come onto his land.
Not to do with you guys, more question aimed towards the group. She's a rumor peddler. Is that something we need or have any use for? I mean, we're looking for the lady, name still, Liana. We're looking for Liana. Maybe the mistress has some information there. Or we could use the well, possibly, to check where she is.
It sounds like the well is for the living.
You're probably right.
The mistress isn't called Liana.
No, but it sounds like your mistress is a rumor peddler, so somebody who might actually know. If she probably has more eyes and ears than just the two of you, right?
Uh-huh.
This is going to be very difficult to do, and I guess I should ask, as we're trying to figure this out, if Hester says no, if there is no deal that can be struck, are you going to continue coming and going without being observed?
We would probably end up coming back here eventually. We don't hit his place often, only when we're desperate. Or when I really need to see my family.
Is that very often?
I don't know exactly what often would mean for you.
More than once a month?
Maybe once a month, maybe twice.
I think the strongest bargaining chip we have, and Squash looks at Zaltanna, is Zaltanna's relationship with Grumsh. I think that's the only thing that's powerful enough to actually get this guy to let them onto his property on a regular basis.
And we're only small, and...
Why does your mistress send you here so much?
She wants to know what's happening down below, in the physical plane. She wants to know all sorts of things. Tell people about their loved ones. Pass information backwards and forwards. Knowledge and rumors are power. The four of you being here, and the four of you alive being here, that's going to be worth a lot to a lot of people.
Like who?
The people who lead the Vortex. The ones who lead the armies.
We were planning on having a conversation with them, actually.
So, is it true then? Is this really the end time?
Not if we have anything to say about it, but it's looking that way.
Something big and something bad is coming our way. But that has happened before, and if we succeed, it's going to happen again at some point in the future.
Belem's army has never been called. I guess we have to make sure that it's... We could tell the leaders that you're coming.
You don't seem like fighters. Why here?
I don't remember.
Why does he have a well and your person does not?
There isn't one at the Vortex. And this is the closest.
Does she have a name?
Vex.
Rhal says like a little bit quietly compared to how we've been sitting here, like even more quietly. I'm not sure I like that he's just sitting here keeping people from using this. This seemed like a good thing, and this is not so much a farm as it is a treasure. This is everything for some people, and he's sitting here with it all for himself.
They nod.
They said there's a couple of wells all over the place. I'm assuming the strong and the powerful take the wells for themselves. Maybe some deal use it more as a bargaining chip, but for some reason Hester sits on it for himself. I don't think picking a fight with him is a good idea. Some kind of a bargain feels like the safest play to me. We could even possibly try to leverage it on our behalf. If we get them repeated access to the well, it means that the mistress Vex would be
Vex.
Vex.
Vex. F-E-X.
Vex. Sorry, thank you. Then the mistress Vex would be in our doesn't know us a favor, but we've already done her a good one.
Perhaps he is trying to keep her from it specifically.
Can people talk to people in Bellum? Can people from Bikron talk to people in Bellum? Are there spells for that?
Do you mean from people from Cicero?
No, from the real world, from the living world.
But they, like, Chavo kind of like shakes his head, but Logan nods and he says, I've heard rumors that sometimes people living here are contacted by the living. Only a few words or a sentence here and there.
Could be that the wells are used by strategic people to pass information back and forward. Sounds like a free clairvoyance access to the material plane if you have somebody in Bellum to be your contact. It's a powerful thing. If this mistress, for instance, I'm just throwing out things here just because I'm thinking about it. If this mistress, for instance, is in contact with somebody from the Double Ones, she could be using it to spy on their opponents, their targets. Just thinking how it can be abused, why it isn't necessarily a good thing.
We can't rule out that Dacian hasn't been here.
Well, yeah.
Not very useful for him, maybe. But still, like, we don't know everything that he needed for anything, so...
I think Squash is just going to look towards Zaltanna and say, I think the best thing to do here is just to tell the truth. I think any amount of lying is only going to get us into trouble because Hester does seem like the kind of person who would take lying very personally. I don't think he would find sport or interest in it. And if he's lied to, I can see him turning that real dangerous real fast.
So we should just tell him that they're green thieves is what you're saying?
Basically, tell them we found the grain thieves, that they are innocent little scurrying creature, and they know a person that we might need help from, so we're here to bargain on their behalf.
Okay. Yeah, that I can do that.
It would
And
put us
if
in
he-
good graces with the mistress. It would also... It wouldn't be one-sided.
I would like to know why he's keeping everyone from the well.
Yeah.
You see, like, the pair of them, they're kind of like taking a few steps back as you're talking about giving them up.
Hey, guys, I'm not going to
No.
let anyone hurt you. I promised. And I keep my promises once I give them.
If you're gonna do that, just we should go.
No, we're not going to give you up. We would never do something like that. Honesty is a much better tool than lying and cheating and stealing. It's much better. Trust me.
It's true, he used to do that all the time.
You want me to help you onto the roof? I don't think that he'll be able to climb up to the roof very easily if he gets mad.
Yeah, you guys should listen to Squash. Squash knows what he's talking about, for real.
You won't let him hurt us.
No.
I promised, and I keep
He won't
my
be able
promises.
to if you're on the
And
roof.
I pick up my sword and I put it back on my back, like very with a
Stylishly.
flourish.
He would need a ladder.
We'll trust you. But if things go wrong, we'll try and find you.
Don't run away straight away. I don't know a lot about orcs, but I can, from what I know about them, they respect bravery and, like, strength. If you cower and run away at the first raise of a voice, he's not going to think highly of you. And it's going to make it a lot harder for us to bargain on your behalf.
Also, and this is just true in general, if you run, you look really guilty and it makes people want to chase you.
We kind of are guilty.
Yeah, but if you stand your ground, it looks like you're like less guilty somehow. Like if you stand there looking contrite, he's gonna be more receptive than he is if you run. If you run, it's gonna like. I'm just saying from experience of when I was
Less honorable?
Anyway,
We'll trust you.
One thing, Zaltanna. That meat bottle you have over there.
what's up?
About the meat bottle I gave you earlier. I took 2 bottles from the mirror world, and one of them was a wine bottle that I shared with Trampel, and it was genuinely out of this world. I'm assuming Hester has never tasted anything like it, and he may be much more interested in it than he leads on. Just putting that out there. What I mean is, don't turn it into a Molotov cocktail and throw it at somebody. It's worth a lot, I think.
But imagine how big of an explosion. No.
I have...
How many D20s do we all have at hand?
I have 0.
Oh, good.
What if that's the difference between us winning and losing against the Basilisk? I throw a Molotov at the giant cloud of doom.
And then we hug it.
As it burns to death.
Rage hug it. Logan says, then, and you see like the both of them just like take a deep breath in and just kind of like straighten their backs a little bit, and they're just somewhat a little bit taller, but not massively. And Logan says, then let's go speak with Hester. Will you speak with Hester for us?
Can we sleep first?
No. I won't get to sleep until we get to the
I thought he woke us up.
Before you came in.
I thought Squash woke us up.
Yeah, then that's his fault. Yeah, this is Squash's fault. Then no, you haven't rested.
I'm saying I'm not allowed to sleep until... Do you want me to sit out here in the barn with the guys? Is that what you're asking me?
No sleep till vision well.
We could take you to the vision well if you want.
Okay, super interesting. Love that proposition. Let's not piss off Hester before we do negotiations.
Yeah.
Right. And
if we murder Hester and all his horses, then we can look at the vision well as much as we want.
He's supposed to be... Why are you saying these things?
Because if negotiations go real south.
If we kill him, we'll have to have a cage ready for him at the Vortex so that he can't come and kick our ass in 2 days.
If we kill...
We're not killing Hester, by the way. My assumption is that Hester is extremely powerful to be able to hold down this fucking farm. Like, not Dajin strong, but I'm assuming he's gonna kick our ass.
He literally has a pen full of nightmares. Yeah, he's fucking strong. They're literally called nightmares. They're literally like fucking like hellish horses, and he has a barn full of them. So
his horses can stab you.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of.
That's...
Yeah. Weird unicorn horses, yeah.
That's on another level.
Okay, let's go and speak with Hester.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening to the episode. We hope you are enjoying the show. If you would like to find us on Patreon and become a supporter, you can find us on patreon.com/Blighthouse. Speaking of patrons, thank you to Quest Portal for being patrons of our show. We appreciate you. And thanks to patrons Arista for the name Logan Swifto, and Falaman for the name Crimson, and Chaos Brain Cathy for the name Shivad. Thank you all again for listening, and thanks again to all our Patreon supporters, and we will see you all next episode. Goodbye.
Hey, sorry to interrupt your favorite podcast, but I'm here to tell you about Shrimp and Crits, an actual play podcast with a southern twist. My name is Ian, and I am the keeper for this show as we play Monster of the Week by Michael Sands. If you like the sound of swampy monster mayhem, gators gone shopping, and magical fairy mischief, you will be right at home in the remote panhandle town of Gullah Kochika, Florida, where spooky danger has begun to wash ashore. Shrimp and Crits is the story of Sarah Payne the Mundane.
All I'm asking for is answers. That's all I'm looking for, is the truth.
Ari Green the Searcher.
You know the proclamations of the Fae. I suggest you follow them from now on.
And Ray Ray, the most mundane monstrous you will ever meet.
Mr. Zeus, I'm a big fan. I knew you were real. And Ray Ray's just like bowing in front of this swan.
As they fumble their way through protecting their skeptical town from mysterious evils. We release new episodes every other Monday on the podcatcher of your choice. Hope to see you soon in sunny Gullah Kochika.